Vicki Gervicus of the Greater Gainesville Chamber, and I'm delighted today to have a chance to get to know Danielle Hawk, who is one of our candidates for our U.S. representative seat for the November 8th election. So Danielle, happy to talk to you today. Why don't you jump in and tell us a little about yourself?
Of course. My name is Danielle Hawk, and I am running to be the next Congresswoman in Florida's 3rd Congressional District. I have been traveling this district for the last 18 months, and it spans 12 counties, including all of Alachua County, so all of Gainesville. And, you know, what I've learned over the last 18 months from listening to all voters is that they want a congresswoman who doesn't ignore people, but actually listens to them and is not actively working against them.
Okay, terrific. Well, let's dive down a little bit. I'm giving you the big screen because you're the star of this particular show. So my first question, and you certainly touched on it, and you can amplify it a little bit more if you like, but you know, the first question is simply, why are you running for this office?
Yeah, so I am running for this office because I believe that the people of Florida's 3rd Congressional District deserve better. We deserve a congresswoman who, like I said earlier, is not actively working against us. And my opponent consistently votes against bipartisan common sense legislation that is designed to make life better for everyday people in our district. And when I talk to people, whether they're Republicans, independents, or Democrats, they are telling me that they want somebody who is accessible to them, somebody who listens to them, and somebody who has their best interests at heart.
Very good. Okay. And again, nobody got questions ahead of time, but this is a great segue to the next question, which is what national issue is most pressing to you? And what do you think its impact is on our community here locally?
Yeah, of course. I think I know that the most important issue that we are hearing at the doors is a woman's right to choose what she does with her own body. And this is, we can't afford to make this a partisan issue anymore. We have people who might find themselves personally pro-life, but they believe that the government does not have a place in our doctor's offices, and that it is up to a woman to make that very personal decision for themselves. That is something that my opponent is one of the most extreme members of Congress on this issue. And really, she's not being honest about where the American people are. And the American people, in the majority of American people, find themselves somewhere in the middle on this issue. They believe that we need to have the liberty and the freedom to choose what to do with our bodies. And that really is the #1 issue, not only nationally right now, but that's what we are hearing from voters in this district. And that's what a lot of people are going to the polls on. And I'm committed to protecting women and their bodily autonomy.
Okay, very good. Inequity continues to plague our region and, of course, our nation. What factors do you think are the most significant contributors, and how do you think Congress can affect change with this?
Yeah, of course. We have child poverty rates. We are the wealthiest nation in the world, and we have child poverty rates that are just an international embarrassment. We have the resources and we have the ability to abolish child poverty. And that is one of my top priorities as a congresswoman, is to slash those rates and make sure that not only children, but American families are able to make it. And one of the resources that we have used is the permanent child tax credit. And when that was temporarily instated during the COVID pandemic, we saw child poverty rates drop by 40%. And that is something that my opponent has come out against. Every opportunity she had, she voted against this child tax credit. And it is lifting, like I said, not only children out of poverty, but especially single mothers and women of color. Really, what we're seeing here is, as costs are rising, as it's becoming more and more difficult, especially in Florida, to afford the cost of living. We are seeing this artificial soaring costs. We have corporations who are having record profits, multinational corporations who are having these record profits and raising the cost of living on us at a time when we really need relief for the American people.
Okay, great. The next question, and again, you touched on this a little bit in your opening, divisiveness and gridlock have only increased since the 2020 election. What measures do you think would help move us forward with this?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And again, this is something that my opponent continues to perpetuate. She continues to perpetuate divisiveness, even when we're talking about the Hurricane Ian relief efforts. Not only did she vote against funding for Floridians during the hurricane, FEMA funding for that, but she continued to do interviews talking about how, oh, the Democrats did this and the Democrats did that, at a time when Floridians need to come together and we need to be united. This is not, hurricane relief should not be a partisan issue. And that's just an example of the way that she approaches this office. And what is really important is being able to have conversations with people regardless of their political affiliation, being able to find common ground and listen to people and actually engage on important issues instead of just continuing to perpetuate this very divisive rhetoric.
Okay, great. And now finally, one of those great open-ended, are you a tree kind of questions, but it's not that. Why should the business community support your campaign?
Of course. Wonderful question. And one I was expecting, believe it or not. So listen, I've already talked about how I am committed to making the lives of everyday people better. And when it comes to businesses, especially in Florida's 3rd Congressional District, we not only have so many incredible small businesses, but we have opportunity for growth. And it is not the way that our Congresswoman approaches her job is not about the people here in the 3rd Congressional District. She travels all over the country doing all of these big celebrity appearances and spends very little time truly investing into our communities. And like I said, I've spent the last 18 months traveling the 12 counties in this district, listening to people, listening to business owners. And one of the things that I have heard is that we need a small business administration office, even if it's a satellite office here in the 3rd Congressional District. We have 12 counties, like I said, and our Jacksonville office serves all the way through the Panhandle, all the way over and all the way past Tallahassee through the Panhandle. And that's very difficult, especially for our rural communities. It's very difficult for us to access a lot of those resources that come from the SBA, and bringing federal funding for infrastructure like broadband and allowing for more economic and business opportunities and having those resources from the SBA and bringing one of those offices here to the 3rd Congressional District is going to just provide so much for our local businesses. And again, I am committed to having conversations with people regardless of their political affiliation. When I am elected as your next Congresswoman, it is my job to serve you, whether you voted for me or not. And that's really what we have to get back to. What does it mean to represent people? What does it mean to represent this district?
Very good. Okay. Well, now the floor is yours. So you can touch on anything we didn't talk about or just give us a summary. Bring us on home.
Yeah, of course. Again, my name is Danielle Hawk. I will be on your ballot before or on November 8th, and I would love the opportunity to earn your vote. You can learn more about me and our platform priorities at daniellehawk.com. And you can always send us an email at campaign@daniellehawk.com if you have any questions or would love to have a conversation with you.
Very good. Thank you so much. And I'm going to echo what Danielle said and say that at the Greater Gainesville Chamber, we're committed to making sure you have the information that you need to get out and get a part of this election. November 8th you can visit our website at GainesvilleChamber.com, and we'll have all of the candidate interviews, the dates you need to know, everything to get you ready and participate November 8th. Thanks again, Danielle. It was great talking to you
so
today.
much. Thank you. I appreciate it.